Good evening. When God just does so many things in your life, you always got something to tell about, okay, about His goodness. But what I'm going to share with you today is no matter what situation you find yourself in, you can have bad credit, no credit, or whatever. But I'm just going to start off by saying God does not have to consult your credit to give you what it is that He wants you to have. And I found myself in a situation like that. Because like I said, whenever you go to apply for something or whatever, they always want to check your credit to see, how good or bad your credit is. Well, this particular time, I was looking for an apartment to stay in for me and my daughter. And as I was dropping her off at school one morning, the Lord had told me to take down phone numbers, along the street that I was on. At this point, I was renting a room from, a coworker that I worked, and, she and her husband were getting back together, so I needed to find a place to stay. So I took the numbers down. I called the first two numbers, and nobody answered, but the third number, someone did answer, and I told the lady I saw a sign, apartment for rent, and I'd like to come and fill out an application. Well, before that, I had gone to got a number from another apartment that wasn't too far from there, but on the other side of the school where my daughter was going. So when the lady answered the phone, she said, well, come in this afternoon. Come in about 3. Whenever I got off that day, she said, come in and, fill out the application and we'll go from there. So before I filled out the application at this particular place, I had gone and filled out the application at the other place. Now, the application at the other place, which is the place I thought I really wanted, okay, because it was beautiful spaces and whatever. So I went and filled out an application. Now, mind you, I had been evicted before, okay, and I had, I think, co-signed for somebody to, get an apartment also. And that fell through. They didn't fulfill their end of the bargain, so that went against my credit. But nevertheless, the first place I went, I filled out an application. It didn't ask if I had prior eviction, so I just didn't volunteer any information. Okay, and I just filled out the application. So the lady said, well, told me to call the next day, and then they would let me know. Okay, so that evening, I went ahead and met up with the other lady who told me to come in and, fill out the application. So when I got there, she said, you know what, there was another person that was supposed to come, but they didn't show up or whatever. So I ended up going ahead and fill out the application. And on this particular application, they asked, had I been evicted before? And I put down yes. I was truthful, and I put down yes that I had been evicted. So she said she would give me a call the next day. I think she said around 1:30 or something in the afternoon. So the next day came, and I think the lady from the first apartment called me. She told me, she said, well, we ran your credit, and we found that you had prior eviction, so we know that the manager is not going to even talk to you, okay? So I was kind of like, let down or whatever. And like I said, when you then heard that, so, now I got to wait to get the other results from the application I filled out later that afternoon. Well, the lady she said she was going to call me by that certain time, and she didn't. I guess she got caught up in something and time went by. So about 3:30 that afternoon, I called her. I said, well, I was there yesterday and to fill out the application, you said you would call me around, such and such a time. And so I was waiting to hear from you. She said, oh, yeah, I remember now. She said, well, we ran your credit report and we found it shows that you had no prior evictions. Okay. Now, mind you, I had talked to the other lady earlier who said I did have evictions and I wouldn't get it. So she said it showed I had no prior evictions, okay? And if I wanted the apartment, it was mine. But my daughter happened to be going to the school in the area, and the apartment that I ended up getting was right across the street from the school. She just had to go out the gate, walk across the street, and she's at school, okay? So what I'm saying is, I know the one report said there were prior eviction, but however God did it, where they showed no prior eviction, that's on him. So that's why I was saying God does not have to consult my credit for me to get what it is that he wants. And like I said, it ended up being a wonderful experience there. The manager and I really became really good friends, and it was just a great time there. So, like I say, whatever God has for you, and even if you make mistakes, you know what I'm saying, and do something other than what God really wanted, because you're learning God's ways, okay? God does not get mad at you, and even though you miss it, he still will work it out, take that mess and work it out, for his glory, and still cause you to have a good name. And that's what God did for me, okay? Because like I said, I ended up staying in that place and never late on the rent or anything like that. And, eventually all that stuff was erased off my credit. So I just wanted to share that testimony with you today. Somebody may be in a situation right now and they wondering about, what man's going to say or what he's not going to say. It doesn't matter about them. If it's what God has for you, like I say, he'll move heaven and hell for you to get it, okay? God bless.